Good morning. On behalf of Attorney Jimeno, I'm Gerg Cahiles, a pioneer and legend in the film industry known for catering to international productions, doing their shoots in the country, here at the forefront. Jun Juban has long been at the forefront of bringing international film productions to Philippine shores, working behind the scenes to make the country a world-class filming destination. As the founder of the Philippine Film Studios Incorporated, he's been involved in some of Hollywood's iconic films shot in the Philippines, from Platoon to the Bourne legacy. Let's get to know the legend and his thoughts on the future of our country as Asia's top cinematic playground. The superstar and go-to Filipino for foreign film productions, doing location shoots in the Philippines, Lope Juban Jr. Good morning, Jun.
Good morning.
Well, thank you for joining us this morning.
No, it's my pleasure.
Oh, well, let's start our conversation by, showing you some photos.
Okay.
And tell me what's the significance of these photos to you. And siguro, you start when I say timer starts now.
Okay.
All right? Okay, so let's start with the first photo. Okay, it's Apocalypse Now, your first major project, right? So, it is under the production of director Francis Ford Coppola. Now, in 30 seconds, tell us in what places here in the Philippines did you shoot Apocalypse Now, and what were the biggest scenes shot here? Timer starts now.
Well, Apocalypse is by far the biggest film production ever shot in the Philippines. The entire movie was shot here. When you say biggest scenes, all of the big scenes were shot here. Pagsanghan, Baler, Zambales at one point. Well, the whole movie, I was 15 years old when I was helping my brother. It was a summer job for me. My main concentration was to take care of the Philippine Air Force pilots. That was my main job. But it was my brother who handled Apocalypse. At first, we were the movie guns or military equipment supplier. Then later on, he handled the whole thing.
Okay. So you were 15, you said?
Yes, 50 pounds ago.
That was long ago. But anyway, 15 years old, how was it working on a film production during that time?
Well, for me, it was more of a summer job, but it was an eye-opener. Because that was, I think, what more can you say? You start your first job on a major production with Francis Ford Coppola. So I saw a lot of, a lot of things that is not open to a beginner in film.
You were talking about the Air Force choppers. What were you doing then?
No, we were the military liaison officers. So we were the ones handling all of the military equipment. We were the go-to guy. So when they needed the helicopters, the military, we were the ones who arranged it. In my case, of course, we already had a contact with the Department of National Defense. In my case, I was handling or taking care of the Philippine Air Force pilots on a day-to-day.
Okay.
When
You assist them.
I was the, sir, have you eaten? Have you, things like that.
Well, that's very interesting. So tell us, how is it working with Francis Ford Coppola and the stars of that film?
Well, I had 2 summers on the film because it was really in between school. I wasn't able to shake his hand. I wasn't able to talk to him, but it was my brother.
Okay.
I was working under my brother as one of the PAs. It's tremendous. I mean, having or working with somebody that you knew who did Godfather and filming the Philippines, syempre parang believe ka, di ba?
Pero kanino ka pinaka na starstruck, sir? So mga artista doon sa pelikula yan?
At a young age, I've refused to be odd.
Oh, okay.
That has been my persona. I've always, para hindi ka, that was what my brother told me, huwag kang masindak sa mga yan because they're only as good as you. Actors naman, pag masyado kang parang you kind of lose your perspective.
Okay, but deep inside, sino ba yung mga artista dyan, sir? Just for us to be reminded.
Well, of course, you had Marlon Brando. Originally, it wasn't Charlie Sheen. Charlie Sheen, I mean, not Charlie, Martin.
Martin Sheen.
Martin Sheen. Hindi siya ang unang lead.
Yes.
After 2 weeks of filming with, my God, I'm so poor with names. The lead actor was replaced.
Okay.
Then it was Martin Sheen who replaced him.
Harrison Ford, sir, was there as well? Harrison Ford?
Harrison Ford was a day player.
Oh, okay.
That was the scene wherein they were briefing Martin Sheen on what the mission was all about.
Okay.
That was where nobody knew who Harrison Ford was at that time.
Oh, but remember that during that time, sir, parang I heard stories, I heard a lot of anecdotes. Baka pwede nyo i-confirm, sir, na maraming bagay daw na nangyari dito sa pelikula na to, na challenges during the production. Totoo ba, sir, na napalabas to sa Cannes na hindi pa tapos yung pelikula?
Well, of course, that was, from what I understood
Yes,
at that
sir.
time, that was part of the marketing
Strategy.
That's part. Siyempre, you kind of show teasers, no? After being shot for a year and a half, siyempre, you had to put something out there. I guess it was more of Mr. Coppola who had the decision.
Okay. So now, sir, you were talking about your brother earlier who handled the production, really.
Yes.
So what happened? Your father started the business.
But it was our father who started it. He was a retired military army major.
Okay.
He was a bomb disposal expert. Then he got hired to be a technical advisor for one of those earlier films. Then he kind of liked, kasi once you start working in a film, kumisan, the moment the bug bites you, you can no longer
Yes.
leave. So we were the original movie gun supplier of all of the foreign and local films. Kami yung, that was my dad. When my dad passed away, my brother took over.
Okay.
And our very first break was Apocalypse Now in terms of the bigness of the film. Unfortunately, after Apocalypse was released, my brother died in a helicopter crash
no.
while
Okay.
scouting for our new film.
All right.
That was 78. I was graduating 79 from La Salle, so I kind of slid in or took over and tried my luck in production.
Well, it was a tragic way of, having this kind of,
course,
this
yeah,
business, and
yeah.
I'm very sorry to hear
But
that,
I had
sir.
nothing to lose then at that time. I'm 19 years old. Why not? Give it a try.
It was very early at your age that time, ano? Pero at least na-expose ka na kaagad at the age of 15. But anyway, sir, let's go to the next photo. The Philippine Film Studios Incorporated. So you put up this company in 1979. Now, in 30 seconds, tell us how different is PFSI from the production company of your father and your brother as well that was passed on to you by your brother. Timer starts now.
Okay, well, it wasn't really entirely totally different because my brother envisioned handling productions. So it's basically in the same, kaya lang, as opposed to our father, wherein we were totally reliant on movie guns or movie props as a
Props,
supplier,
yes,
we handled the whole thing.
Okay.
But it wasn't PFSI before. It used to be Philippine Motion Picture Productions. Then later on, when things were getting to be too global,
Yes.
and of course, if you give, parang ang sabi nga nila nun, promotions. Then we're into production. So So I wanted
You
to
decided to
100%.
change the name.
Yeah, I
Okay.
changed our name to Philippine Film Studios. So when you give a Hollywood biggie your card, oh, you own a studio.
Sabi nyo nga parang in terms of perspective, it's
Yes.
bigger.
Yes, of course, of
How
course.
important is that sa pagdating sa negosyo, sir? That Hollywood production companies are seeing this name of your business. How important is that, sir?
Oh, they can only be as good as their local counterpart. No matter how great the director is, if the logistics isn't online or isn't there on time, or the crew is not of a certain standard, then it will be very difficult to film. Not just in the Philippines, anywhere else. Anywhere else.
How old were you in 79 when you put up this company, sir?
Well, I was 19. On my very first film, I was 20.
Wow.
On my very first film, Don't Cry, It's Only Thunder.
Imagine at 20, you were already helping huge Hollywood productions here in the Philippines.
Yeah, at that,
Wow.
Don't Cry was a fairly sizable one. The advantage was we didn't have Zoom then, so they didn't realize they were talking to. Kasi when they came in, we're talking to you. Telex pa nun eh.
Wow,
Telex.
okay.
So iba yung, of course, somebody, a Hollywood biggie referred me. He said that he can handle it.
Okay.
Because of our family's reputation.
Sir, pag sinabi mong telex, it's telex. It's a telegram. Ganun ba yun?
Yeah,
okay.
Now that would be the equivalent, I guess, of
Email siguro, sir,
WhatsApp
no?
or
Okay.
Telex pa nun eh. Telex.
But at a very young age, sir, ano yung challenges na kinaharap mo producing
Well,
these films?
as I said, I, as the main counterpart, I have to refuse to be awed by them.
Okay.
That is my suggestion to the young guys. That is what I've been telling my kids. Again, they need you in as much as you need them. So you have to be, I mean, hindi ka naman mayabang.
Huwag ka mag-fanboy, parang ganon.
Huwag ka naman mayabang. Hindi ganon. But you have to be on a certain level, especially when you're talking to Hollywood studio guys. No? They'll eat you alive.
That's true. Agree. Now, sir, let's go to the next photo. Okay, here it goes. Don't cry, it's only thunder. It was shot, shot in 1982. It's a Vietnam War film and your first solo project, as you mentioned, as a line producer. Now, in 30 seconds, tell us your experience as a line producer of this Hollywood film. Timer starts now.
Yeah, that was my very first film, that's true. It's about an orphanage in Vietnam. So every time they'd be bombed, Paul Hansen, it was a true life story, would tell the guys, or tell the kids, don't worry, it's only thunder. It was... I didn't ask for any financial payment for this production. I only asked for the credit of being the one handling it. Kasi syempre, wala ka pa eh.
Oo nga sir, bakit? Well, if you can explain it further, bakit ka hindi maniningil? Ang laki-laki ng tinabaho mo dito.
You're a 20-year-old guy. You've only been an assistant to one of probably the best, my brother.
Yes.
And you're only as good as your last film.
Okay.
I did not have that last film. I wasn't even credited in Apocalypse Now because my payroll was coming from my brother. Because you have to be under the studio's payroll for you to be named. So, wala. It was a challenge. And it was, at that time, it was a $2.5 million production. How would they trust somebody na... I mean, you might run away with that. So, you had to prove your point.
Okay.
Mabuti na lang, we had mutual friends with the producers and he vouched for me. That was Andre Morgan. He vouched for me.
Well, that's a very important person in your life, no? The
yes.
person who
Up to now, I still correspond with him. Up to now.
All right. But sir, don't cry, it's only thunder. It's about Vietnam War, no?
In Vietnam.
But bakit dito sa Pilipinas sinushoot? Ba't hindi sa Vietnam?
No, of course, at that time, we still had, I think it was in mid-80s when the Vietnam War ended. So before that, all of the Vietnam movies were either shot in the Philippines or in Thailand. Deer Hunter was supposed to be shot here, but they shot it in Thailand because Apocalypse Now was here. So the Philippines is a chameleon of sorts, no? Of sorts. We've played Indonesia, we've played Thailand, we've played Vietnam, It's only lately that Philippines is being used as Philippines, which is good for us.
Oo. Pero sir, kung ganun, sabi mo nga, chameleon yung Pilipinas, no? Pwede siyang setting for different Southeast Asian countries. Pero I'm just wondering, ano ba yung situation that time? Dito sa Pilipinas, was it easier to get a location here in the Philippines during that time compared to other Southeast Asian region?
Well, we had the advantage because of, I'd say, communication.
Okay.
The Philippines at that point, even up to now, is still very much easier to talk to a Filipino, obviously, because English being our native, in a way, our second native language. We had the technical expertise.
Okay.
And of course, the government was very supportive at that time. If you recall, early 80s, we had those film festivals under then First Lady Imelda Marcos. Yes. So we were very open. I did a lot of Chuck Norris movies at that time. Madami. It's a factor of sorts.
Kumbaga sir, yung government support, it's really important. But let's talk about it later.
It's not just the government support. It's the public support.
Public support.
We're film friendly. Filipinos are film friendly. Pag may shooting dyan, nanonood lang tayo.
Naman. Alright, sige sir. Let's proceed to the next photo. It's Platoon and Bourne on the 4th of July. These films are very, very famous. Now, sir, for both the films, they were critically acclaimed and won awards. Now, in 30 seconds, tell us how your studio got involved in the high-profile films of Oliver Stone. Timer starts now.
Okay, well, Platoon, it won Best Picture. Of course, at that time, Oliver Stone wasn't Oliver Stone. It was difficult in the sense that we were filming it right in the middle of the EDSA revolution. 2 weeks before EDSA, the entire cast and crew were already here. Biglang pumutok yung EDSA. Luckily, once EDSA there was a change of government, I was able to approach the late President Ramos,
Okay.
who helped us in Apocalypse. I told him, sir, we've got a film, the entire crew is here. Can we proceed with the same contract we had with the Department of National Defense? Because it was an earlier government,
Yes.
right? And he understood the importance. He said, yeah, okay, go. So, nakashoot kami. And it launched. I'd hate to imagine if Platoon wasn't done, kasi they wanted to leave na eh. Siyempre, may EDSA Revolution, di ba?
tama, sir.
It launched Forrest Whitaker, Charlie Sheen, Johnny Depp.
Wow.
Ang daming artistang
Big
nandun. And of
names,
course, Oliver Stone himself.
Yes.
Kasi kung hindi nagawa yun, where would Oliver Stone be?
Correct.
We wouldn't have probably shot Wall Street. Kasi siyempre, you're only as good as your last film.
Correct.
So it was difficult at that time. Pero natapos namin. Then a few years after, he came back. I guess to reward us with Bourne on the 4th. In Bourne naman, we shot Vietnam and the Mexican sequences. So it was a 3-week shoot. Platoon was entirely shot in the Philippines. It was an 8-week shoot. Yung
8
Bourne,
weeks.
3 weeks. We had Mexico, all of the Mexican scenes, yung mga sa sand dunes, in Lawag, and of course, Vietnam.
I read nga kasi, and I also watched an interview of Willem Dafoe saying that
Willem Dafoe,
he was able to witness the EDSA revolution.
Yes.
And it was, he said it was a great experience seeing that kind of peaceful revolution. During that time, sabi mo, you negotiated with the government para ituloy yung... Was it difficult that time?
Kasi, we were our production office was in Manila Garden, which is now Dusit. So we were facing EDSA,
Yes.
yung Dasmariñas. Dati, wala pa naman underpass na, di ba? So you saw the tanks coming in from the south. And I was telling Oliver, it's a show of force. You see, it will be over in a few days. So I spoke to somebody from the government side.
Okay.
And he assured me, don't worry, in a few days, tapos yan. Okay. I will see. After 3 days, it was awesome. Oliver said, nice contact, Jun, but what do we do now? Sabi ko, wait. That was when I approached, mabuti na
General
lang,
Ramos at time.
mabuti na lang he had an experience in Apocalypse. So, naintindihan niya the importance.
But how did you prepare for that shoot, sir? For Platoon?
Well, most features have a 2-month pre-production.
Okay.
So, we had 2 months of preparation. We had almost 2 weeks wherein we brought the entire platoon to the SAF training grounds for them to actually train. Yung pagbalik nila, doon na nga yung EDSA.
Yes.
So, I mean, you're given ample time. On some production, you're given ample time.
And sir, of course, Oliver Stone referred to you as his Far Eastern secret. How do you feel na ganon yung pagtingin sa'yo ni
Well,
Mr. Stone?
I don't have pictures with actors. As I said, mayabang ako. But I collect posters.
Okay.
In this poster, he said to June, who made the impossible happen. Siyempre, tuwa ako. And then in Bourne, when he won the Oscars, he said, I would like to thank the warm people of the Philippines. Obviously, we were ecstatic.
Yes.
Well, no question. Kasi to my recollection, he was the only director who thanked the location.
All right. Now, let's talk about Bourne. Next photo. The Bourne Legacy. It was filmed in the streets of Manila in 2012. Now, in 30 seconds, June, tell us how you prepare for this big chase scene in Manila and what was it like working for director Tony Gilroy, Rachel Weisz, and Jeremy Renner? Now, timer starts now.
The traffic was... No, we were fortunate because, of course, at that time, President Pinoy was very supportive. And then, MMDA Chairman Francis Tolentino helped us tremendously control the streets. Kasi I guess the government knew on a franchise like Bourne Legacy, because no sane Hollywood producer or any foreign producer would be crazy enough to bring a major franchise or a film to a country which is perceived as dangerous. So it is the confidence in these producers to bring a location to a certain country. Them filming in the country shows a lot of our government's maturity, the industry expertise. Yung mga ganon. If you look at it, I mean, we're very lucky na Bourne Legacy considered us.
Oh, I remember that time I was a young reporter covering the MMDA. Kaya naaalala ko na nag-close tayo ng street sa Santa Mesa, di ba? Just to allow the shoot to happen. And it was, papanoorin mo sa film, wow, this is Santa Mesa Road.
And then, of
during
course,
that time.
Jess Robredo, who was my classmate.
Okay.
He was a DLG.
Okay.
So, yung mga gano'n na...
yung mga connections
mga
mo nagamit
nagalapitan mo.
And nagbunga naman, sir. Kasi napakaganda ng pelikula. Ano? But, sir, can you tell us, ano yung difference kapag nag-shoot ka sa rural area versus sa urban setting?
Well, it's harder, of course, to be filming in Manila because you have to be talking to a lot of owners, private, government. Sa probinsya, syempre mas open eh. Yeah, you don't really worry about the traffic. You don't really have to worry about the ruckus that you're doing in the place. Saka syempre mas open. So it's more of a logistical ease in doing it in the province. So El Nido, Caramoan, Pagsanghan, and all of those.
Mas hindi sakit sa ulo kapag nandun ka sa rural
mas less,
area.
syempre. Mas less, di ba? I mean, that's...
Okay, let's go to the next photo, sir. Wow. So it's the TV series Survivor. Now, the French edition were also filmed here, sir. And even the US edition, no? In 30 seconds, how would you compare shooting an international reality TV show to a full-length film? Timer starts now.
Up to a certain extent, it is easier. You know, we've been filming the Survivor franchise for 17 years in Caramoan and some parts of it also, of course, some of it in El Nido. It's easier in the sense that once you bring them to the location, that's basically it. They just work within the area. As opposed to features, then you like the one that we last did, the last resort, El Nido, then we had to go to Cebu. Then from Cebu, we had to go to Bataan. Then from Bataan, we had to come back to Manila. Mas magalaw.
Masyadong madaming locations.
Mas magalaw, yeah. If you're logging a city and a crew of about 200 people and X amount of foreign guys, siyempre yung logistics nun, mas madugo.
Mas mahirap. Nightmare sa mga line producer kapag nagta-transfer ka one place to another.
Yung lipat na lang eh. You know, with some restrictions with the airline, batteries are not allowed to be carried on the air.
Yeah.
I mean, we live with batteries, di ba?
Yes.
Sa ilaw, sa camera. So we had to charter planes para dalhin lang yun. Yung mga ganon.
Pero sir, kapag nagsa-scout kayo ng location, mas ikaw ba ang nagde-decide kung saan o kailangan ng approval ng
no, once we
director?
see the script or read the script or see the concept if it's a reality show, then we already have an idea of where to bring them. Of course, we will bring them to places that are friendly to filming. The ultimate choice is, of course, with the director and the producer. Pero kami namimili.
But how do you convince production companies abroad to shoot here in the Philippines? O sila ba talaga yung lumalapit sa inyo na, Jun, kailangan ko ng location for this? Paano yun, sir?
Our pretty faces.
Oh, yes. Is it, yun na ba talaga yung business card mo?
We've been very fortunate that it's through word of mouth. They come to us, they send us the script, they send us the concept. We've done Korean, Japanese, a lot of other shows. Titignan namin kung posible. But we've also rejected some shows. No? Pag nakita namin tagilid, or it will be showing the Philippines in a bad light, then we kind of...
Meron ka turn down?
Oh, yes. Yung kay Gerard Butler.
Okay.
No, we had to say no to that.
Bakit,
kasi
sir?
Terrorist yung mga...
Okay.
Halos lahat ng buong kwento, salbahe yung Pinoy. You don't want to... Sayang, pero you'd have to look at it in the long run. Kasi they did it in, if I'm not mistaken, in Thailand.
Yes. Kumbaga, kung negosyo lang, kukuhanin mo. Pero dahil apektado yung Pilipino, in perception of the world to Filipinos.
Yes, because, I mean, it may be good for now.
Yes.
Pero in the end, there was a film shot years ago, decades, The Fatal Attraction. No? Lumabas, Philippine Army pa yung part of the bad guys, kidnappers. We had to say no to that. They still did it with somebody else. Pero nag-pass na kami. Even our Hong Kong, kasi Chinese, even our Hong Kong consulate protested. Imagine, hinanap nila kung sino. Kami yung unang tinawagan. Sabi ko, no, hindi kami gumawa niyan. So medyo, ano yun,
Alright.
fatal vacation.
Fatal Vacation.
Parang ginaya na lang fatal attraction dito sa tourist load of Hong Kong nationals who were kidnapped. Siyempre, umayaw kami ron.
Okay.
You just have to say no to... You know.
And dapat you stand your ground din. At saka dapat talaga may level ka na.
Mahirap naman, di ba? Kasi you ask support from the government.
Yes.
I mean, how will they feel once they see na... I mean,
Hindi ka na makakaulit, ano? All right. Anyway, sir, where does the Philippines stand right now in terms of preference as location for foreign productions? Why are Thailand and Vietnam becoming the preferred location sites of foreign productions? But before you answer that, sir, we will pause for a short break. We'll be right back here at the forefront. Welcome back here at the forefront. Now, June, my question was, where does the Philippines stand right now in terms of preference as location for foreign productions? And why Thailand and Vietnam becoming preferred locations for foreign films?
well, yeah, we are lagging behind. And sad to say, Thailand is still the top choice. There are several factors, one of which is how they incentivize filming there. The second choice would be, you know, if you're filming in Thailand, you see the culture. You see the temples, you see their, you know. In the Philippines, we're too modern in a way. You see McDonald's sign, Jollibee. You don't, like, when I used to help Secretary Gordon, when we were with the tourism, I was one of his artistic
Consultant.
directors. Yeah. He asked us a very potent question. He said, can we name a very iconic Philippine landmark that the moment they see, they know it's the Philippines? You have Eiffel Tower of Paris, you have, you have the Lion of Singapore.
O ano nga yan para sa'yo, sir?
Philippines, wala eh. It's still the jeepney. We're facing out the jeepney.
Yes.
You know, walang
Iconic cultural
wala eh.
location.
Wala.
Ganon.
Wala. Kaya kuminsan yung Philippines hindi, kasi syempre if you're a producer, you want to show that you're filming overseas. And you want to see the culture, you know. Several films na kuminsan ganun ang choice. Mabuti na lang when in Bourne we were competing with Indonesia and Vietnam. And they felt, and we had a lot of common friends with the producers, with Frank Marshall and Tony Gilroy. Ka-age ko yung mga yun. So madami kaming kaibigan na nasabi ko, why not Philippines, you know, napunta naman.
Pero sir,
and they felt more comfortable.
You mentioned an important term kanina, being chameleon. Yung Philippines sa chameleon. Sabi mo nga, wala siyang like, may ididikit mo kaagad na location pagdating sa Pilipinas. But it's a chameleon. Is that an advantage as well?
It is an advantage. At a time.
At a time.
At a time. But since the genre of productions are, Vietnam is no longer that in, so you have to compete as a country. Philippines as a location.
So paano mo nga ginagawa yun, sir? How do you compete with these
we were
locations?
lucky enough to bag Survivor. Several countries are on their knees.
Talaga?
Ilipat nyo dito yan.
Okay.
You know, but fortunately, we have Gov. El Rey of Camarines Sur, who was very open to us filming there. The first production we shot there was the French Survivor
Karamoan,
in
sir, no?
2007. Karamoan was nothing. There was nothing there.
Yeah.
Sabi ko, madadala ko French Survivor dito, gumawa ka na resort. Nagawa naman niya with the government, so nadala namin. And that started it all. So 17 years, 18 years after, we're still there. The community loves us, and Karamoan grew as from a fourth-class municipality to a second-class municipality. Then El Nido rin, it's very tourism-oriented kasi mabuti nakuha namin yung Survivor. That is what I've been telling film development. Alagaan nyo yung nandito na kasi baka umalis pa yan.
Oo nga.
Sayang naman, nandito na. But there are other reality shows coming in. So, Stranded on Honeymoon Island, Mirandala Island, madaming dumadating na.
Pero paano mo nasabi, sir, sa Film Development Council of the Philippines na alagaan nyo yung mga nandito na? What do you mean by that?
Well, we do have a program that, up to a certain extent, is giving some sort of incentive.
Okay.
Kuminsan, I feel bad na invite kayo ng invite. Eh, yung nandito, hindi nyo...
Okay.
Di ba, nandito na eh.
Oo.
Mas alagaan nyo.
Kumbaga, in-nurture natin since nandito na sila.
Yeah, nandito na eh.
Oo.
True enough, nadidevelop, nagkakaroon ng ibang newer reality shows.
Okay.
But not because of FDC or whoever's initiative. It's also because of the producers' initiative. Kasi pag tinanong sila, oh yeah, of course, great film in the Philippines. So, kung meron requirements na kailangan maasikaso, incentives that we're hoping we will get, we got some. At least, alagaan to.
Can you be more specific, sir, in terms of the government support needed para mas ma-improve pa or mas ma-attract natin yung maraming foreign productions to come here sa Pilipinas?
Well, we are in the crossroads of, obviously, we have to increase our incentives because our incentives are too low. But as I was telling in the last meeting we had with the FDCP, it's not just the cash incentive which is important. There are a lot of government-owned locations that can be given free, not just to worthy foreign productions, but even to the local. Di ba? Kung may open up yun, make an inventory, offer it, kasi kung hirap tayo sa cash incentive, pwede naman in kind eh.
Okay.
Special work permits. We spend millions to get special work permits and extend their visas. Ilibre na yun. Kasi ang laki naman ng, yung mga ganon na if you add it all up, it can even be bigger than the incentives we are giving right now.
Kumbaga may balik, sir.
May balik.
Oo.
May balik. Kasi they spend 100 million, 200 million, yung VAT, the hotels, for a reality show, it's anywhere from 80 to 120 foreign crew that stays for 2 months, at least, in a location. Plus the locals pa.
Yes.
So you're talking about housing about 200 guys. Yung food, transport, hotel, whatever we spend in the location, that amounts to something. And these are long-term. So yung ganun, may balik.
For example,
on top of that, although, yung image natin, once pinakita mo yan,
yes. It will help boost the tourism.
that's free advertising. You don't even have to spend $200,000 in a 15-20 second spot in CNN. It's shown in Sweden, it's shown in their own homes, kita naman nila, di ba? And it's normally shown during Christmas time. Yung malamig. Malamig sa Denmark, malamig sa France. Makakita nila gleaming bodies in a beach.
Yes.
In a white sand beach. Where's that?
And we wanna go there.
Yeah. May more than free advertisement for kung 13 episodes. You're talking about 13 one-hour episodes. Hindi yung second lang.
Correct. Now, sir, kapag let's say, for example, itong Survivor, gaano karaming foreign crew ang kasama dyan, tas ilan yung Pilipinong hinahire?
Foreign is about 80 to 120.
Okay.
That's about the average, depending on the country. The last one that we did for UK, there was about, I think, 100. But UK was stranded on Honeymoon Island. Pero Survivor, mga ganun din. Ang local, easily 150 if you include the local porters, local beach cleaners, kaya sa Karamoan, touch wood, we've been there for 17, 8 years, not a single petty theft. Wala, kasi embrace kami ng community eh. And that is what we've been trying. We only bring a certain percentage of Manila hired guys, and we augment with locals para welcome kami dun sa mas malaking tulong, di ba?
Kumbaga, you also give jobs to the community.
Oh, yes.
Hindi nyo sila pinapabayaan.
Oh, definitely.
Because
Definitely.
may mga cases na parang parachute na nga. Pupunta kami dyan, magsushoot kami, alis kami, tapos wala na. May iwan na lang yung community, no?
Reality shows, the moment they like the place, next year, babalik. After next year, babalik yun kasi okay sa kanila, di ba? That's, and it's a fact. It's a fact being done right now.
Sir, yung bang mga foreign production companies, nagbabago yung perspective nila ngayon sa Pilipinas?
Yes. Or the ones that we've worked with.
How? Lisa
Francis, who was the executive producer of Survivor US, said at one point that I've been to a lot of countries, but it's only in the Philippines wherein I will cry when I'm leaving. Iba yung Pinoy eh. Our biggest asset is still us.
The warmth.
The warmth, our willingness to work, our willingness to help. I visited other survivor countries, iba yung dating. Dito tayo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jun, let's mag-game tayo ulit, ano? Now, you state your top 3 answers in each category. Top 3, no? And I'll give you 30 seconds to enumerate it. Okay? Let's start. Now, your top 3 foreign directors. Timer starts now. Foreign directors.
Oliver Stone.
Uh-huh.
Peter Weir. He did a Year of Living Dangerously. And of course, the last one, Donald Petrie, our rom-com director. He did Miss Congeniality, Richie Rich, Grumpy Old Men. Ang bait nung tayo. I couldn't ask for any other kinder director.
Alright, sige. Okay, magtuloy na tayo sa next one. Hindi pa tapos yung oras mo. But now, your top 3 reasons why you went into line producing. Timer starts now. Bakit nga ba? Or just...
I had no other job. That's one. I was young, nothing to lose. And of course, being part of a family that has been in the industry, that was the first motivating factor.
Kumbaga, it's a legacy.
Nandun from my father to my brother to me. I'm passing it on to my children right now. So, nandun na yung hubad.
Generational...
and I don't think you can find any other business that is unique.
That's true, and very niche. Now, Jun, your top 3 most challenging foreign productions you dealt with. Timer starts now.
Platoon would be the number 1 because of when it was shot. Bourne Legacy because of the logistics.
Okay.
And The Year of Living Dangerously. That was with Mel Gibson and Sigourney Weaver. That was Indonesia at that time because we had some political... So sorry. A Dangerous Life, the Edsa Aquino story.
All right.
I had to finish that in Sri Lanka because we had some legal
problems here. In the
legal
Philippines.
problems locally.
All right, Jun, top 3 best film locations in the Philippines. Timer starts now.
Well, I'd have to say Caramoan.
Okay.
Caramoan is number 1. El Nido is number 2 because of the current productions. Besides very, very welcoming. And the place is so nice, both Caramoan and El Nido. And
the last one.
You're talking about locations, right?
Yes, location. Manila. Ayaw mo ng Manila.
Manila.
Kahit traffic, kahit nahirapan ka.
Kapapanalo lang ni Yorme. So.
Correct. Now, sige. Now, your top 3 local talents who earned the respect of foreign productions. Top 3 talents who earned...
Jan Arcilla.
Okay.
There were so many guys who tried to get that part. At first, I wasn't even with Jan. I was sort of... But after it was shown, then you kind of see, kasi foreign na ng cast nun so namili. Meron silang mata
Who else? Aside from Jan Arcilla?
Loris Guillen.
Okay.
In A Dangerous Life. And of course,
Joel Torre.
Joel Torre.
All right, sige.
Torre.
Now, your top 3 foreign celebrities that you were impressed in terms of attitude and talent. Timer starts now.
Tom Cruise. I was at that time. At that time. Very, very, very regular.
The young one.
Very regular, yeah. I'd say even Mel Gibson at that time. Again, I can only say at that time, no?
Yeah, during
yung
the time
recent Jeremy Renner. Very Kung minsan yung mga malalaki, yun nga, walang problema. I had problems with si Easy Rider. I forgot the name. Easy Rider. David Carradine was, again, medyo another one.
Now, June, top 3 things you wish foreign filmmakers will notice about the Philippines. Timer starts now.
Well, they've noticed. No, I wouldn't want to say will notice our technical expertise. Our friendliness, they've noticed that. Will notice, wala akong...
Kumbaga, napansin na. Nakita na nila.
Napansin na
Oo.
The government.
Maybe if we can further improve some things that you said earlier.
It's getting there. It's getting there. I mean, in fairness, we are really trying. Dapat lang, bilisan. Mas
bilisan pa. Now, June, the Juban family working with foreign production is now on its third generation. So how did you prepare your sons, Nicolo and Lope III, to work in this niche business? You answer that when we come back here at the Forefront.
From the world of lifestyle to the edge of the world itself, Ferdy Salvador,
Everything. Amazing little oasis in the middle of rice paddies.
Marie Lozano, taking you around the globe, one unforgettable journey at a time.
It all started with a very simple idea.
Luxury, adventure, discovery. Join Ferdy Salvador and Marie Lozano, where lifestyle meets the world.
You're still watching at the Forefront. Now, the Juban family working with foreign productions is now on its third generation. Now, Jun, how did you prepare your sons to work in this niche business?
No, it's kind of, I did not actually prepare them. I guess they slid into it. Kasi nasanay, pupunta sa location, manonood.
Kagaya mo?
Yeah, pagaya ko, no? Now, it's not just Nicolo and Poxy. My third son is also into it, Santi. And our only daughter, Sheena is the one handling the travel.
Kumbaga,
no?
it's a family affair now.
Yeah, it's been always like that in a way. Kasi kami rin dati at that time.
Agree.
No?
So, but since hindi na tayo bata, no? Tumatanda tayo, that's why we pass on the legacy to our children. But anong sikreto kung para magpatuloy? Sabi mo nga kanina, galing ka lang sa shoot kahapon. And paano mo na-maintain yung good health at saka yung dedication sa trabaho?
Well, ang advantage namin, we have downtime. Training season, medyo pahinga kami, di ba? It's not like a business wherein 24/7, 12 months of fire, dire-diretso ka. And we travel as a family at least once a year, lahat kami, to bond and then to talk about what transpired, how we can improve. Ang kagandahan din kasi talaga, gusto nila eh. They love the work, they look forward to the work, they look forward to what is the next production. So hindi na kailangan pilitin pa. Di ba? At saka enjoy naman talaga yung trabaho naman.
But I'm just wondering, is this really financially rewarding, for a company like yours na niche? No? Malaki ba ang kita dito? If you may, if you don't mind telling us.
I refuse to comment on the grounds that I might incriminate myself.
but
Yes, it's okay. It pays the bills.
Okay.
No.
And the mere fact that you're still doing it, it means...
At saka ang importante, ang dami mong natutulungan eh.
That's true.
Yung
Agreed.
crew, we charge for a fee, but we don't have any add-ons on salaries. Kung ano yung kay Pedro yun. That is how we've been able to maintain. Some guys have been with us for 30, 40 years. No? Ang dami na nga medyo
so, kumbaga, you take care of your people.
Oh yes, you have to.
Is that something that you want to pass on to your children?
Yes, I've been telling my guys kasi recently, unfortunately, we had three of our pillars. Kasi nawala na. Roy La Chica, who was our production designer, Roy Serrano was a PM, Danny Dominguez, our special effects guy, nawala. And age na ang problema. So I've been telling my guys, have your own team, create your own team. Kasi yun yung, iba yung the difference between us, I guess, and other production houses, we have a team. Isang whistle lang, buo na. Yung iba kasi, pupulot-pulot pa. And dun yung weakness eh. Kami,
at least ito buo na.
Buo na eh.
Anytime.
Yeah,
no?
we can do 2-3 productions at the same time. So we're trying to develop. There's new blood at the moment.
Sabi mo nga kanina, kahit yung mga Survivor, yung mga reality series, sabay-sabay minsan nangyayari, ano?
Kaya, the Philippine industry has got a deep bench of technical and artistic expertise. No question. Communication is there, the knowledge is there, the willing to work is there. It's more of, I wish we had more productions. Yung local is fine, pero ako talaga really have to go foreign. Naiwan na tayo eh. Korea, I was doing Korean films 20 years ago, pinagtatawanan pa namin yan. Parang, They
Korea,
don't know
oo.
which end of the camera to look at. But look at them now.
Pero ngayon ba, maraming mga Korean production
Meron
na?
naman. Meron mga dumadating. But still, what I'm saying is we have more than enough. Kasi may dirt na nga sa local. So kaya eh.
Oo.
Like, we
Tsaka
were
malapit,
doing,
ano?
Yeah, we're doing 3 productions. We are doing the French, we're doing UK, and, the French in Caramoan, UK in San Vicente, and then the third rom-com. Kinaya eh. So, mas
Pwede,
madaming
oo.
dumating, mas madaming kaya. Kaya we have the expertise.
No, I'm wondering, kasi syempre, nung nagsisimula ka siguro ng pamilya, di ba, busy ka, marami kang ginagawang trabaho. How did you balance your time? Sa sarili mo, sa production, sa pamilya, paano mo ginawa yun?
Well, a lot of the credit has to be with my wife, Tina. She was the one who was holding the fort, nobody else. So, maski naman ngayon, siya talagang boss.
And the mere fact na yung mga anak mo mismo rin ay na-involve dito sa negosyong ito, it means hindi nila minasama or hindi nila, or, kumbaga, those times na hindi ka nila kasama, parang hindi nila dinibdib yun.
Again, I have to put the credit on the doorstep of my wife. No? Walang iba. Walang iba. All of my kids, or my 4 kids have their own families na emptiness na kami, pero happy sila lahat. I wish they will move on from them then to their kids. How I wish. Sana. Ganun kasi nandun eh.
Para sa mga gustong pumasok sa foreign film production na kagaya ng ginagawa niyo, no, what advice can you give them? Ano ba yung hinahanap nyo
You
ngayon?
have to look at it in the long run. It just cannot be a quick buck. Kasi 40 years ago, tinignan ko, di bali ng walang bayad, di ba? Kasi makakuha mo naman yung credit.
Investment.
Yeah, it's an investment. Kasi wala ka naman masyadong puhunan except your number 1 puhunan, which is your reputation. Mawala yun. You can kiss it goodbye. So,
It's the reputation that's really
yeah, because,
important.
it's other people's money. It's not yours to squander. So, ingatan mo lang.
Now, June, I'll be giving you a series of phrases. All you need to do is to complete the phrases into sentence. Okay? So, my love for film started when? When?
50 pounds ako.
Now, foreign crew and talents are always surprised by?
Filipino friendliness. Surprised kasi compared to other countries. Mas masaya tayong katrabaho.
My proudest moment was when?
After doing, I have to say Platoon.
Oh, okay. Film to me is?
Love.
I feel most fulfilled when?
I wrap a movie or series. Almost. Lagi automatic yun. Pag natapos mo,
May sigh of relief. Now, the Philippines is ready for
bigger shows.
bigger shows.
Bigger shows, yeah.
What keeps me going is
The next project. No, but no, my kids are taking over. So, ako
medyo pahinga na ng konti.
Yeah.
All right. In 5 years, I hope to see this industry
really grow. We owe it to ourselves. Kaya naman eh.
for Philippine cinema. I hope that
We do bigger and better films or shows.
I would like people to remember me for the legacy of Jun Juban.
Well, the films that we've done.
Okay. All right. Now, Jun, kung gagawing pelikula ang buhay mo, anong title ang ibibigay mo dito at bakit?
I never imagined.
Kailangan mo mag-isip ngayon. Pine-pressure kita. What will it be? Ano sa tingin mo?
I never
Hindi talaga.
imagined that. Honestly, I was sort of,
Well, then, ako na magbibigay. Imagine.
yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Jun, for the time.
My pleasure.
All right. Now, from quiet corners of his childhood to the bustling sets of global production, Jun Juban has walked a path lit by passion. With every project, he brings the world closer to seeing the Philippines not just as a backdrop, but as a country with world-class skills and talent. The bridge he built over decades is not just a dream. It is a casting a beacon of light on the world of cinema. Be timely informed, be insightful of the news, always stay at the forefront. Join us again on Monday for deeper insights on issues that matter. On behalf of Attorney Karen Jimeno, this is Gerg Cahiles. Thank you for spending your hour with us.